Broadly speaking, Telkom is next. Now remember, this is a dynamic situation. The South African government has about 40% of the shares. Then the Public Investment Corporation has another bunch,
yes,
which
about
gets you above
14,
50, yeah. And therefore it gets that name SOC at the end, which is state-owned company, which is not always a good
or
thing.
state-owned entity. So we've got lots of acronyms on that.
But now it could be for sale. They're under cautionary because the Treasury has been signaling that they've got an emergency situation over at SAA where some bond and debt people want their money by the end of September. So they could do an accelerated book build, sell this one, take the money and send it that way. What does it mean for you as an investor if you are at Telkom? Well, 31.9 billion rands worth of market cap. Price earnings ratio 8.41, dividend yield 6.96. The company itself has done a lot better in recent years. So what does one do? Does one jump in here and buy the shares that the government is selling?
You know what? It's very, very difficult to tell what's going to happen to Telkom. When Sipho Maseko came in, I think the share price was trading about 15.
Yeah, look at it there. He's done a brilliant job.
Yeah,
he's responsible for that recovery.
Certainly, 15, 20. That's when the Korean company, KT something.
Yes, okay, they've had various sort of partners over time. That was one of them.
Certainly, and they were not allowed basically to increase their stake into that. And then they walked away and people didn't like that. Sipho Maseko came in and certainly it has improved. 6% dividend yield is fantastic. I think on a PE relative basis, 8 times PE is also looking very, very attractive.
Because he did two things. He stopped wasting money on ridiculous misadventures. This company blasted its way through billions with adventures in telecom media, Nigeria, also things. All he said is, listen, let's play to our strengths. And the other thing they did was reduce headcount because they still had far too many people.
There was lots of retrenchments in there, and they saved quite a lot of money. They went into Blue Business Connection. I think that's one of the transactions he did, which basically has done very well.
Because they've got a very nice network, and they've got a traditional sort of ADSL customer base and quite a lot of data lines that move traffic, and they use their back end to provide connectivity to corporate customers.
No, certainly. So I think they did quite a lot of changes from a restructuring perspective. You talked about basically there are lots of partners. You could pay your phone at Pick and Pay and elsewhere. Then they sold Yellow Pages, which was Telkom Directory. I think there is now called Tudo, which is almost like a separate entity altogether. Then they went into the cell phone industry and they were using the name ATA. I thought it was really strategy because remember South Africans, if they want to say hello, they say ATA. Okay, and I think that's where the ATA came from.
But for some reason they dropped that and reverted to using Telkom Mobile. But again, they've got certain strengths. You know what I think ought to happen here? The government must take their money and go and do with it whatever they want to do with it. Then this company will be free to, in fact, engage in a new round of strategic conversations with other industry players.
I agree with you.
And not be blocked by those government delegates sitting on the board talking nonsense about this is strategic or that's strategic. Once they're gone, they're gone. At which point, maybe the likes of an MTN or a Vodacom can come and have a chat with it.
Okay. I think this is a forced sale. I don't think government basically is aware that by selling some of their stake, certainly they will be reducing their voting power or influence on the board.
The dead hand of government will be removed.
Because they want SAA to fly. Like you said, you know, you're taking good money, you put it into some entity, you're not quite sure when it's going to turn around. We've had so many people from Andrew Coleman.
Coleman, exactly. Coleman Andrew.
And there were so many people who came in between. And everybody was going back to government, to National Treasury to say, what, we need to keep in flying.
Guess what, we need more money.
Give us money.
Okay, so I'm going to say that this is hot because I like the idea that under a fresh environment, this company may actually be worth more. Although, in a share sale type situation, it does create an overhang. How are you going to call it? In the short term, I think there's too much uncertainty. If it kind of falls below 60, I can say so, but because it's battled to break above okay, so
85.
You're saying avoid for the time being?
Let's avoid it. Let's government make its decision and where they're going to put the money, and then we'll go back to support the business, the management. I'm going to go hot on it now anyway.